Okay, fine. He likes Hamas, he watches their propaganda, but he's not going to deny the violent that took place. That is way beyond the pale.
And October 7, last year, Hamas committed horrific acts of sexual violence.
She goes, I wouldn't believe it unless it was firsthand. Here's a 17-year-old whose family was in front of her and she was kidnapped for 50 days and continually while being in captivity. Nothing to say? Nothing? You're not going to fucking acknowledge what just happened?
I say to the women's rights organizations, to the human rights organizations, you've heard of the of Israeli women, horrible atrocities, sexual mutilation. Where the are you? I expect all civilized leaders, governments, nations to speak up against this atrocity.
Are you not upset that Denims just called this girl a liar about sexual violence straight to her face? That doesn't bother. What bothers you is that I called her a bitch, right? Not that she's believing women, right?
Carolyn Bryant Dunham, the white woman who accused Emmett Till of making advances towards her, has died. 14-year-old Emmett Till was kidnapped and brutally murdered by Bryant's then-husband and his half-brother in Mississippi in 1955 over the allegation. The two men were acquitted in his killing by an all-white jury, but later confessed in an interview.
You say you support women and you sit here and you giggle and laugh at this girl who was raped, and then immediately you say, I believe all women, and they say, oh, wasn't she lying? I have decreed, let it be known that Denims is a dumb fucking bitch. I'm standing by every fucking syllable of that, okay?
Among them, at least 14 American citizens. Parents butchered using their bodies to try to protect their children. Stomach-turning reports of babies being killed. Entire families slain. Young people occurred while attending a musical festival to celebrate peace. Women raped, assaulted, paraded as trophies. And thousands of wounded. Alive, but carrying with them the bullet holes and the shrapnel wounds and the memory of what they endured.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by viewers like you. Become a member today and unlock exclusive content at patreon.com/NorthstarRadio. In the post-Hasan Piker content nuke world, nothing has changed. Probably because all the information in the video has been beaten into the ground and debunked by Hasan himself countless times.
While obviously many of you are wondering, Hasan, are you going to be watching Ethan's content nuke? The answer is, of course not. From what I understand, the reviews are not great. Turns out when you're not particularly smart or particularly knowledgeable about politics and you try to do a political takedown, people are going to look at it and say, yeah, you're kind of stupid.
And because nothing has changed, Ethan has continued talking about Hasan and has even ramped up the rhetoric quite a bit, continuing to go after both Hasan and other leftist streamers, specifically the biggest female political Twitch streamer on the internet, Denims.
Somebody that laughs in the face of other victims and immediately calls them liars, that's a bitch of a person.
Now, Ethan is infamous for the countless times he has spoken about Muslim Arabs.
I do, on the other hand, acknowledge that, like, I think per capita, there's definitely some strong thread of violence through the Muslim community, or Arab Muslims, to be more specific. You told me once you went on, like, a mission with them to, like, a terrorist city.
He also has quite an extensive history of misogyny.
So there's definitely something, like, in us to, like, conquer. Men want to, like, conquer.
Right.
So it's, you know, women are in a nature setting, like, to be conquered.
So when you combine these two bigotries, you foster a visceral hatred for people like Denims, a Muslim Moroccan woman.
First of all, she's a fucking bitch. Shame on you. You. How dare you? You say you fucking support women and you sit here and you fucking giggle and laugh at this girl who was raped, and then immediately you say, I believe all women, and they say, oh, wasn't she lying? Like, go to a museum, put this there. This is the fucking caliber. This is what's happening in Hasan's community. This is what it is.
Ethan is the king of reacting to clips out of context. So after the quote-unquote content nuke on Hasan dropped, Ethan reacted to an out-of-context clip of Denims reacting to said content nuke.
Denims. Get a load of this dumbass. Go from believe all women to Pixar it didn't happen. The vast majority of people, if not all, who were raped were murdered on the spot.
Ethan's claim about dozens of victims being murdered on the spot is completely baseless. An Israeli prosecutor overseeing the Hamas militants captured on October 7 has admitted that her department has failed to find any evidence of Hamas committing rape on October 7.
In new footage, Agam reveals that assault and rape was a regular component of the life as a hostage in Gaza.
Doesn't matter if it's happened on October 7th.
Hasan, maybe you would like to call her a liar. Please, go right ahead.
Doesn't matter if it's happened on October 7th.
There are dozens of testimonies from witnesses, most of who were in hiding and heard or saw it What's happen. The problem, fucking bitch? Did you not hear what they said? You respect women? Why are you calling them liars? How fucking cool is that? Say something. You just said you believe victims, but here's a victim right now, a woman telling you this happened, and you're smiling? What's funny about that? And each week there's more stories coming out. There's a UN report that concludes it happened.
Doesn't matter.
But Hasan needs a kit from a mutilated...
Wait, wasn't this disproven?
Oh.
Was this clip from her disproven? Is he going to play the clip of her?
This clip of her first. How do you disprove firsthand testimony? Let's go ahead and question the narrative. Well, I just don't believe Biden. If it was firsthand accounts, I'd believe them. Go ahead and say that shit.
We are believing the women who come forward and talk about their sexual abuse or experience.
I love the righteous indignation. She would never do that.
I'm not going to believe Biden when he tells me that everybody's getting raped.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
You realize that that's insane,
it's
right?
It's so crazy. Her first instinct being, wasn't that disproven? Imagine that. Imagine someone who says they believe women and support women of violence, and your first fucking thought after being disproven is that this bitch is lying, and actually continue to stream with a straight fucking face and pretend to be progressive.
Gam Goldstein Almog was kidnapped from her home on October 7th by Hamas and was held captive for 51 days. Though only 17 years old, she witnessed the murder of her father and sister on that day and is now speaking out about what she witnessed in Gaza as well in a new documentary by Sheryl Sandberg.
Pretty amazing to be immediately disproven. She goes, I wouldn't believe it unless it was firsthand. Here's a 17-year-old whose family was murdered in front of her and she was kidnapped for 50 days and continually while being in captivity. Nothing to say? Nothing? You're not going to fucking acknowledge what just happened? This is a disgusting human being. She's a vile piece of shit.
In new footage, Agam reveals that sexual assault and rape was a regular component of the life as a hostage in Gaza.
Doesn't matter if it's happened on October 7th.
Hasan, maybe you would like to call her a liar. Please. It's funny. I go, Hasan, go ahead and call her a liar. Here's a first-hand account. And she's like, hold my beer, or whatever that meme is. Hold my fucking rape kit. God damn it, somebody's got to call her a liar. I'll step up to the challenge. I will accept this task. This bitch is lying. Go right ahead.
Doesn't matter if it's happened on October 7th.
There are dozens of testimonies from witnesses. She thinks it's funny. Imagine hearing that and smiling. Even as pro-Palestine as you can possibly be. What's funny about a 17-year-old, an innocent 17-year-old whose family was murdered in front of her, kidnapped for 50 days, and continually in captivity? What's funny about that? Because she's Israeli? She's 17 years old. She was born there. Her first intuition, a leftist pro-feminist, is to call her a liar. What a disgusting human being she is.
This girl that Ethan is referring to, Agam Goldstein Almog, never claimed to be continually in captivity. She actually said the complete opposite right after being released, but we'll get to that later. Let's just talk about this movie for a second.
Though only 17 years old, she witnessed the of her father and sister on that day and is now speaking out about what she witnessed in Gaza as well in a new documentary by Sheryl Sandberg, Screams Before Silence.
This movie that Ethan is getting this clip from is called Screams Before Silence, a movie mostly sourced by testimonials from one victim of sexual assault who we have no reason not to believe, but also from testimonials by Zaka, which is a post-disaster response team with very close ties to the Israeli government. Zaka was the original creator of the 40 beheaded babies hoax, which was later debunked, leading Zaka to create the far more effective mass systematic hoax, of which the special representative of the Secretary General on Sexual Violence and Conflict for the United Nations claimed there was no evidence for. She was asked, "Would you say that you found a pattern of sexual violence that was a strategy of Hamas, both in the October 7 attacks and in regards to the hostages?" Patton answers definitively in the negative. According to the UN report, Patton conducted confidential interviews with 34 individuals, including survivors and witnesses of the October 7 attacks, released hostages, first responders, and health and service providers. It visited 4 attack sites, as well as the morgue to which the bodies of victims were transferred, and reviewed over 5,000 photographic images and some 50 hours of footage of the attacks. However, in the conclusion of the report, Patton writes that, in the medical legal assessment of available photos and videos, no tangible indications of rape could be identified. Now, I need to reiterate, it is very likely that rape did occur, and even in the UN report, it was claimed that several corpses were found in questionable positions that could indicate sexual violence occurred. However, according to the special representative of the Secretary General on Sexual Violence and Conflict for the United Nations, there was no visible pattern of sexual violence used by Hamas as a strategy of war. Rape probably occurred, but there is no tangible evidence and there is no visible pattern of sexual violence used by Hamas as a strategy of war. This movie, Screams Before Silence, was also produced by Sheryl Sandberg, an American technology executive who formerly worked as the COO of Meta from 2008 to 2022. Meta has its hands all over the United States government, mostly in selling information, technology, and offering special tools for feds. So there's obviously a greater incentive to make such a film. And with a lot of money, you can get very young women to make false claims about rape in order to justify a genocide. This is a very basic part of history. Hoaxes being used to justify genocide, whether it be under Western expansion and genocide of Native Americans in the United States, or in the Jim Crow South, where black men and boys were lynched for the hoax of touching a white woman. The woman who claimed she was touched by 14-year-old Emmett Till, leading to his murder and mutilation, has admitted to making a false report and is still alive to this day, facing zero repercussions. This hoax strategy was also used against Jewish people in Nazi Germany. This is so simple to understand, yet Ethan and Hila are participating in genocide justification. Okay, let's see the rest of this clip, and then we'll get into Denims' response, which further covers the false claims and smears made by Ethan.
What is this? And yes, she is a fucking bitch. Somebody that laughs in the face of other fucking victims and immediately calls them liars, that's a fucking bitch of a person. If not that, then who? She is earning the coveted distinction of being a fucking bitch. Congratulations. Enjoy the distinction. I've come here and I have made the distinction. I have decreed, let it be known, that Denims is a dumb fucking bitch.
This dude is a quote-unquote progressive social democrat, by the way. Oh, but his only friends nowadays are Trump supporters, so make of that what you will. In response, Denims took a day off from streaming. Not 2 months, just a single day, to put together a response to Ethan's misogynistic rant and his incredibly dangerous false accusations.
Hey guys, I think I pissed off Ethan Klein. He hasn't had a lot of nice things to say about me since the incident.
45,000 live viewers, by the way. 45,000 views. She had like 45,000 live viewers.
So yeah, I got around 45,000 viewers covering Ethan Klein's content nuke on Hasan. The video was pretty terrible overall, and I think anyone that wasn't sure before is completely certain now that Ethan has become a shell of his former self. I mean, shit, I used to watch this guy in high school.
Now, Denims' video is only 14 minutes long, so given this criticism, you'd think Ethan would be willing and able to react to Denims' 14-minute long video in full, right? Of course not. Ethan instead decided to react to, not only out of context, but deliberately spliced clips he found on the H3H3 Productions subreddit. And I'm just gonna take a wild guess that the person who spliced these clips together is also active in the Destiny subreddit. Oh, would you look at that?
Let's take a bet. Does she ever acknowledge the fact that she lied about a victim, or is it just like ad hominem? Lock in your answer now. Let's see.
Me as an ex-Destiny orbiter. He's doing this to distract from the fact that he's currently orbiting Destiny.
Okay. First of all, I'm bigger than Destiny. That's not how gravity works. Okay, lady, take a fucking class in science. I've been bigger than Destiny. Okay.
So, so you're supposedly a smart girl. Come on. Okay, orbiting Destiny would mean they collaborated together. They like call into each other's show. They do stuff together.
I don't want you to fall into a trap here because she's got receipts.
Okay.
I think Ethan and Hila just have a humiliation fetish, because if you just watched the video in full, you would understand that the brief section on Destiny is meant to be comic relief before Denims starts talking about the much more serious accusations of denial.
Okay, I thought those two clips were fun, but the next clip is a little bit more serious. Before we get into it, a quick palate cleanser.
But I just think it's funny. Her and Hasan are the ones calling me an orbiter, and they're the motherfuckers who were part of this guy's life
They are
when
the
accusations
actual
existed,
orbiter.
and they benefited from his benefited.
You guys are the actual orbiters. They're real in real life. Like where we live in the reality, you guys are the orbiters. So there's that.
Y'all live in Destiny solar system. I'm out here, rogue black hole. I don't know nothing about nobody.
These people are literally stuck in 2018. Like, everyone under the leftist umbrella on Twitch now knows to stay as far away as possible from Destiny. Yet Ethan is frequently browsing his subreddit, and whenever he's talking about Destiny's crimes, he seems oddly unfazed by it, compared to when he talks about Hasan's much less serious accusations of supposedly supporting terrorism.
Although I'll say Hasan is having quite a week. He's doing a victory lap as Destiny, his arch nemesis, was like completely and fully fucking canceled / exposed this month. Pixie showed screenshots of him being like, I'm so sorry, if there's anything I can do, you know, if I can pay you to...
Oh, Destiny?
Yeah.
Said that? Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That's deeming.
He said stuff like, you know, I don't know if it helps, but yeah, here he is offering to pay some of her bills. He says, this feels super lame, and I don't at all want to imply that somehow just giving you money helps anything go away or fixes everything for you. But if you have any bills or owe money or anything, or have financial stuff I can help with, I can at the very least chip in and help with any of that. So it's at least one less thing you have to worry about or stress over while you're worrying about getting through this. I had heard this leak happened, and I thought it was just memes and stuff, because apparently there was like a picture or video of him like a dude off. Everyone thought that was funny, whatever. There's nobody on the entire platform to call him out. Nobody. They've all been banned. They've all been banned. Nobody. There's not a single dissenting voice with his fucking straight up radical, anti-American, anti-Semitic, pro-China, pro-Russia, pro-terrorism takes. This is fringe, psychotic. That is not normal. And it is the only acceptable voice on Twitch. Explain that to me. How is there not one dissenting voice on that entire platform? And this has really contributed to a lot of extremism being normalized. Is because young people are on Twitch, they go to Hasan, and they think this is normal. And it's the only option. You can't even click over to someone else who's like, actually, this is why Hasan's wrong. It doesn't exist. It literally doesn't exist. That's fucking crazy, dude.
All right, back to the video.
Hasan and his community is desperate to link me to Destiny, someone who I don't even know. They claim that he like ghost wrote my video, that he's my favorite creator.
I wonder why people might think that.
Ooh.
But really, just ask Destiny.
Oh shit, she's doing some like Sherlock Holmes type of shit right here, boy. I'm in the middle of a crazy clue game.
Okay.
Here's what he had to say on October 22nd, the day after Ethan Klein got caught browsing his subreddit.
I know it wouldn't look good for Ethan to publicly...
Well, what got caught browsing his subreddit? Can you show me what that means? Like, what the f are you talking about? Like, did I pick that? Like, I showed an image that also appeared on his subreddit or something? Like,
Do they know that like if you open a subreddit, that still doesn't make you an orbiter of Destiny?
I don't know him. They're like, oh,
just to like bring her back to reality for a second.
I mean,
if you opened the Destiny subreddit, it does not make you an orbiter of Destiny.
They disagree.
Well,
Ironically, being friends with him and wanting to sleep with him and streaming with him and
hanging out,
you know, having good time, having sex in his bed. I think could that happen?
I mean, yeah, you have a pattern of using memes and screenshots sourced from the Destiny subreddit. Your own H3H3 subreddit has been infiltrated by Destiny fans, and your recently visited tab on Reddit frequently features the Destiny subreddit. You are clearly in his orbit, whether or not you even realize.
I know it wouldn't look good for Ethan to publicly do anything with you, but if you reach out on private at all, well, privately we chat a ton, of course. Why do you think I've been off stream so much the past week? I'm like scripting these videos. But publicly, I mean, it's difficult to associate with him because Hasan is just going to accuse me of like mind basically, right?
If Ethan Klein is willing to lie about all this other stuff, what else is he willing to lie about?
Denims is a dumb bitch. Well said, sir.
Wait, if you look at her face, it almost looks like she doesn't even believe what she's saying.
That is such fucking obvious.
He's obviously joking, and she
was friends
she
with
was
him.
friends with him.
She admired his sense of humor and his
So
personality.
she knows he's joking.
She was very good friends with him.
So forced, bro.
Yeah, look at her face afterwards.
It comes back, she's like,
Yikes. Am I right?
Is he willing to lie about? Did you guys know that he pulled a meme from the Destiny subreddit?
These people are such idiots. They think everyone else is just the dumbest motherfucker in the world. Denims is so obviously joking. Oh, and here's the first instance of a spliced clip. And it actually makes Ethan look super guilty. This is the clip they played on stream.
If Ethan Klein is willing to lie about all this other stuff, what else is he willing to lie about?
Denims is a dumb bitch. Well said, sir.
And here is the actual clip from Denims' video.
If Ethan Klein is willing to lie about all this other stuff, what else is he willing to lie about?
I never Destiny.
Anyways.
I don't know, Ethan. That's kind of sus. It's kind of sus that you wouldn't include that. Definitely doesn't help your case.
Well, privately we chat a ton, of course. Why do you think I've been off stream so much? Just a week.
So he's saying he's been off stream for a long time because we've been working so closely hand in hand that he hasn't had time to stream.
Obviously a joke. I mean, if these people don't have the capacity to understand basic stuff like that, I don't understand why should anybody listen to them on anything.
Well, so this is part of what's so malicious about this movement that I really hope people understand. They are knowingly lie. And I think they collude and knowingly lie because they have very much like a ends justify the means type of thing. So I do believe these people collude to like spread specific, talking points. The problem is that she's so dumb that this one is actually so dumb and bad, it's not really believable, even probably to her dumbest audience members. Although, who knows? Let's see.
They don't care either.
You might be surprised. I might be surprised.
Wait, I want to see her reaction again before you close it.
Sure, yeah.
I'm like scripting these videos. But publicly, I mean, it's difficult to associate with them because Hasan is just going to accuse me of like mind f***ing him, basically, right?
Yikes! If Ethan Klein is willing to lie about all this other stuff, what else is he willing to lie about?
Denims is a dumb dude, that guy is so on
Girl, you don't believe your own bullshit.
These people must just think women are stupid or some shit. And for all my men out there, it's actually a very common phenomenon that women have to deal with. They make very obvious jokes in the presence of men, but because men typically see them as lesser than, they think the woman is simply incorrect rather than making an obvious joke. And that's what Ethan is demonstrating here.
This is the top comment, which I think we all know. She knows he's joking, but she knows her and Hasan's audience either stupid enough to believe it or just willing enough.
Yeah, they're just
to
willing
add it to their
enough.
list of things they knowingly lie about. It's really crazy, the total detachment.
That's what I'm learning, is that they're not like dumb enough, they're willing enough.
Yeah, Hasan's audience is definitely the one not understanding the humor. You guys really understand what's going on here. You're so smart. Okay, here's the other instance in which Ethan reacts to a spliced clip of Denims' original video.
This is another clip, I guess, from her video. Let's see. Another obliterating me. In front of her, and she was kidnapped for 50 days and continually while being in captivity. Nothing to say? Nothing? You're not going to fucking acknowledge what just happened?
I will acknowledge what just happened.
Oh, good. This is the first time I've ever seen one of these people.
Okay.
This is exciting.
What did you say?
This woman who you claimed was continually raped in captivity did not claim to have been raped.
Oh my God. The narrator literally says it.
So this narrator says that she met people in captivity that it happened to them, and she witnessed them telling her about it.
Let me play this, and then let's say our point. At least one of the people said that they had suffered sexual and physical abuse. About half of them.
In that interview,
and remember, the narrator says that people suffer. Okay.
That is not the original video. And if they had just watched the video, they would have realized how baseless their argument really is. Here is the actual clip from Denims' video.
I will acknowledge what just happened. This woman who you claimed was continually raped in captivity did not claim to have been raped. In fact, when she was released from captivity, she had this to say.
ואז אחד מהם, הצעיר, עשה איתי הורדת ידיים, אבל הוא הביא מגבת, כדי לא... כי אסור לו לגעת בי. אישה היא מאוד... אישה היא קדושה שם. אישה היא מלכה. היו עושים לי שיחות איך לשמור על אגם. הסברנו להם שגם אצלנו לפעמים כן יש שלאגם יכול להיות חבר, או יכולים להיות לה כמה חברים לפני שהיא תתחתן. אני אפילו מעודדת את זה, שהיא תתנסה, שהיא תכיר, לפני שהיא אצלה מוסד הנישואים. אבל היינו מתאמתים על זה.
Later, she did a different interview for a documentary, which is what Ethan put on the screen. In that interview, she says that at least half the hostages she spoke to said they were sexually assaulted. At no point did she claim that anything had happened to her, and to my knowledge so far, no hostages have given first-hand accounts of being sexually assaulted in captivity.
כל פעם שפגשתי מישהו היה לפחות מישהי או מישהו אחד שחוו התעללות מינית והתעללות פיזית. כמעט כאילו חצי מהן.
Now, other women have also claimed that while they weren't victims themselves, they spoke to others that were. Asking people to believe secondhand accounts that change with no explanation is insane. I take issue with other people manipulating these women's horrific experiences to fit their narratives. I have said countless times that in any military, paramilitary, or attack, there will unfortunately be abuse. American troops have been found guilty of this countless times over the past few decades. I have to believe that there was sexual abuse on October 7th. I will also always believe victims who come forward to talk about their sexual abuse. I stand by that.
So yeah, what Denims is showing and proving in this video is that the girl Ethan originally claimed was continually in captivity and thus accused Denims of laughing at her and calling her a liar, not only never claimed to be herself, but well before this documentary was filmed, she gave a contradicting report, saying that it was forbidden for her to be touched. The clip of her saying this was very poorly received by the people of Israel, and thus when she was given another opportunity to talk about her experience, she all of a sudden changed her story, making her claims of hearing about acts of sexual violence lose all credibility. Ethan is spreading dangerous lies that are used time and time again to justify genocide. I think there is one main takeaway we can learn from this entire Ethan versus Denims situation. Whenever Ethan is reacting to or discussing certain Twitch streamers, YouTubers, or really anyone online he has a problem with, specifically those he disagrees with politically, I think it's safe to assume more times than not that Ethan is either straight up lying or is too stupid to realize he has no idea what he's talking about. Please, if you can, go show some support to friend of the show, Denims. Thank you for watching NSR. Peace and love. Free Palestine.